Hello everyone! I hope you're ready for another adventure, because today, Wayne reads Dinosaur Mysteries. Always remember that as we go through these amazing stories and read these outstanding adventures, all you have to do is press the CC button in your YouTube link to be able to follow along with the words. Now I believe that Madam Owl will be perfect to join us for today's adventure. Now that Madam Owl is here, let's jump in. Dinosaur Mysteries. The hairy devil takes off. The strange fossil creature had a bill of a stork lined with the teeth of a crocodile. Its hind legs and backbone were like a lizard's. The large boned arms did not match the spindly legs. The hands were the most particular of all. 3 spiny fingers were upturned like the claws of a bat. A 4th spidery finger was as long as the rest of its whole body. Some people believed that so strange a beast must have been a fiend or a demon from hell. Scientists finally agreed that it had been a flyer. Its wings were sheets of skin stretched from very long 4th fingers on its hands to its hind legs. They named it pterodactyl, which means wing finger. As time went on, many more dinosaurs having wing fingers were found. All were grouped together called pterosauria, which means winged lizards. Although they lived at the same time as brontosaurus, they were not flying dinosaurs. Pterosaurs came in many different sizes. One of the smallest, Ramthodokius, was only around 18 inches long. At the end of its tail was a small blade of bone, might have helped it keep steady during flight, like the tail of a kite. One of the biggest pterosaurs was the pteranodon, meaning toothless wing. From tip to tip, its wings stretched more than 25 feet, though its body was no longer than a turkey's. Probably it spent almost all of its life in the air over the sea, diving into water and snatching out fish. Perhaps once a year, it returned to land to breed and nest. Pteranodon was a living glider. It must have soared for hours at a time, riding the air currents without much as flapping a wing. How to remain so easily aloft? Pteranodon was built almost as light as air itself. Its wing bones, backbone, and hind legs were hollow tubes with walls as thin as a playing card. A system of air sacs connected the lungs, partly filled with hollow bones. The sacs worked like tiny bellows that were pumping by the moving wing. With the air inside and out, Pteranodon could float like an inflated balloon. Most scientists think Pteranodon could not flap its wings like a bird. It would have needed huge, heavy muscles to flap a wing 12 feet long. Probably the great weight of such muscles would have made it sink, and straw-like bones could have been snapped and strained. But if the wings did not flap, how could it have launched itself into the air? Because it was so light, Pteranodon could probably take off at very low speeds. It had only to face into a mild wind, stretch out its wings, and float up into the sky like a dry leaf. For a long time, scientists have been puzzled about the long crest from the back of Pteranodon's skull. If the creature needed to be so light, why would it have carried a useless spur of bone on its head? You can see how its long jaw struck out in front like an immense pair of scissors. The crest balances the jaw. Without it, the bill would have made the head flop forward. Unlike birds and airplanes, which steer with their tails, Pteranodon had no tail. Perhaps it used its head as a rudder to change direction, just as you steer with your head by turning it to one side or another when you swim underwater. Were Pteranodons cold-blooded, leathery-skinned lizards? Probably not. A life in the air would have wind-chilled a creature with bare skin. Then, the pterosaur would have become sluggish and still, just as a lizard does when it's cold. To remain in flight, pterosaurs must have been warm-blooded. They also needed some way to keep warm. Then how did they prevent heat loss from small bodies and huge paper-thin wings? In 1900, an English scientist said he believed that pterosaur bodies were covered with fur. Few people agreed, and he died soon after, not knowing whether he had been right. Then, in 1978, a Russian scientist found a pterosaur fossil clearly showing that the creature had a furry covering. He named it Sordus pilosus, meaning hairy devil. The Englishmen would have been very pleased. The hairy devils must have cast shadows as they cruised over an open area in search of fish to eat. Perhaps like those great fisher birds, the gulls and pterosaurs wore white. A coat of white fur would not be noticeable to their prey, who would confuse their white masses for clouds in the sky. The biggest pterosaur ever discovered was even bigger than Pteranodon. From wingtip to wingtip, it measured about 35 feet. People nicknamed it Jumbo in 747. Its proper name is Quetzalcoatlus. Quetzalcoatlus was an ancient Aztec Indian named a feather serpent that they believed exists in ancient times. Oh wow, that was so cool. What did you think, Madam Owl? I like that part too. You'll join us again, won't you? And we hope to see you again here with Wayne Reads. Thank you for joining us, and we can't wait to see you again. Bye-bye.